Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. I am Dan Arena, and this is Matthew Pedersen, and we have our special guest today, Jeff from the Geek Blend. Welcome, Jeff. Thank you for
Welcome,
joining.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good to be
you're
here.
welcome. Yeah, it's good to have you. um, yeah, so today we're just talking about Star Wars stuff and mostly about you and your channel, and it'll be like a small little interview. We here at Inside the Booth like to call it inter reviews, and
I like that. I like that.
so yeah. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about the Geek Blend and what you guys do over there.
Well, it kind of started, I think it was back in 2016. And
Okay, so about 4 years ago.
yeah, I've been doing it for a bit. Started as reviews and just movie discussions and rumors and stuff, and a lot of unboxings like Star Wars collectibles and stuff like that. And then I moved back to where I'm from here in Indiana, and I got a job where I work in sales, where I worked so much, and I would be after hours working, of course, trying to get clients and to make money. And kind of the channel we did a little bit of things here and there, but it kind of fell by the wayside. Me and Jason still would do reviews and trailer reactions and stuff. And about a couple of years ago, me and Jason decided we drink a lot of beer, we like a lot of craft beer, so let's do some beer reviews on the channel. So we started to do that as well, and I continue to do the unboxings and talk about Star Wars and do movie reviews and just kind of talk about what we like to do. And then that's where the craft beer stuff came in. And they kind of,
oh, nice.
Yeah. And so me and him every Tuesday put out a show called The Cantina, and where we talk about talk about craft beer reviews and stuff. And because he's very much into that, and so am I. We talk about that together. And he's a Star Wars guy. He's a Marvel guy as well, big Marvel fan. And so once his schedule hopefully calms down, we'll be able to get him back on the channel more often. But it's mostly, I'm a big Zack Snyder DCEU fan, so I talk about Snyder Cut a lot.
Okay. Star
Star Wars, I haven't talked about it for a while. I did reviews on the Mandalorian on my channel, but I think I'm going to do something for Star Wars Day, May 25th, Star Wars Day. And I'll probably talk about like
Star Wars Day.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And I know a lot of people say the real Star Wars Day, but I remember when I was younger, like when the prequels came out, we were all hyped about it, and we still celebrated May the 4th. But I think that since Disney has pushed it a lot, and a lot of people have soured with what Disney has done to Star Wars, people have like leaned more towards May 25th as Star Wars Day, so because it's not as corporate now as that is May the 4th is. But yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, it's our channel basically just started just because I'd been wanting to do it for a while. My wife's like, "You should do it. Just start it. Just go record something." And I did. The first video I think was about Suicide Squad drama on the set of Suicide Squad. That was my first video. Oh, and then I did like Rogue One trailer reaction and stuff like that. And that's like one of my biggest videos on the channel still is the Rogue One trailer reaction. But yeah,
very cool. Very cool.
Oh, cool.
Well, here we go. We have a couple of people saying hello. We got Uncle Mike. Hello, Uncle Mike. How you doing? We got Apollo Patriot.
Hey, Apollo.
Must be one of your followers. Hail Geek Mythology. Love. May the blue. Oh, yeah. Geek Blend.
He loves Twi'lek women. Yes, he does. Yeah, that's Apollo Patriot. Yeah, he's a big meme guy in the community. Yes.
But that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Miss Martin Muse says hello.
Hello, Teresa. How you doing?
And then Apollo also says support Gina.
Yeah.
Yes, we do that.
Absolutely.
We like Gina Carano,
Me too. Yeah.
So definitely.
She seems like a very good person.
Yeah, she seems very nice. So I don't understand the whole controversy of what's going on. I mean, I kind of get it, but it's like one of those stupid things. So.
Yeah, I get it. I agree 100%. 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. So, tell me, when you first started, how did you come up with the name The Geek Blend?
To be honest with you, I'd floated some ideas on my personal Facebook with friends and family, and it started to build from there. Then a friend of mine suggested something similar to it, and I came up with it just kind of thinking overnight one night, and I had maybe like 25 different names, and that's the one that just kept popping out. Because I was talking to my friend Jason, and I was getting ready to move back home, and he's like, if we do more than just Star Wars, He's like, if you call it the Geek Blend, we can do like whatever we geek out about, we can talk about it. So that's where that came from. So because we geek out about craft beers, we geek out about collectibles. I geek out about horror stuff. I'm a big horror fan as well too. So that way it kind of be more of a broad scope and not just like a name of a YouTube channel with Star Wars in the title. Because that originally what I was going to do. I was going to have a Star Wars name in the title of the channel, and I decided to kind of broaden it a little bit, and the Geek Blend is kind of one that just kind of stuck. And that's the one I kind of kept coming back to. And I think the night before I recorded my first video was when I actually chose the name for the channel. So, and that's when I created it. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was kind of a broad thing where I could do more than just Star Wars if I wanted to.
Yeah, of course.
Because at the time when I did start, even though I did Suicide Squad stuff, I talked a lot of Star Wars on the channel, like quite a bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars is something everybody loves.
Yes.
No matter how much they hate Disney, they still love Star Wars. So,
exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's more that concept of how George Lucas made Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah.
So
something that would live on forever.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. One thing I haven't seen lately are like like fan films and stuff. Have you seen anything recently?
There is a channel on YouTube called Vader Reviews. He's working on a film called Star Wars Fallen Jedi. It looks really great. He's shown off some stuff that he's been doing, and his channel, basically, he wears a Vader outfit and he reviews stuff, but he uses effects and whatever he uses, his voice really similar to Vader.
Oh, really?
And it's really great channel. But he's got a trailer out for it. I reacted to it a while back, and it looks really, really good. And it looks like he's putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into it as well. Like the Palpatine actor who's doing it looks really close to Palpatine. The voice is great. They're doing a lot of like special effects, like ATSTs and stuff, and like. It's gonna be cool. I definitely recommend checking it out. That's the somebody was talking today in Ryan's chat too about something called Bucket Heads.
Bucket Heads, okay.
Mm-hmm. And like looks like they're doing like a season or something like that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I haven't looked into that yet, so I need to check that out. But yeah, somebody said Bucket Heads. It's another one. But I haven't seen any recently though. Besides, it's been a few years. So I think the last big one was like Star Wars Theories. Film, but before that there was some good stuff, but I haven't seen much since then.
Yeah. I remember even back in like '99, they a few people did parody type films. What was that? The one was called Troopers. I don't know if you ever seen it. It was like
it's great,
but yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, that thing made me laugh so hard. It was so it stuck with me ever since. And then like. When I started getting back on YouTube, I'm like, I wonder if that guy has it up on YouTube somewhere. And I actually did find it not too long ago. I was like, oh man, that's cool.
It's really funny, really creative too, like really clever.
Oh yeah, it is. I think if I ever make a my own cut of A New Hope, I think I would add those scenes in it.
No, that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be great. Wouldn't it? Yeah. And I guess you could call like the scene the Obi-Wan Vader scene that that channel redid a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
the New Hope fight. Yeah, fixing it in post is the name of the channel. Yeah, and that was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean, just really well done thing, and I hope we get more of. I think they're working on something else right now too.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember which fight they're working on something else to redo, but yeah, that one was fantastic. So I don't know if like. Because for a long time, you always saw little stuff popping up here and there. There was like Old Republic fan films, like Revan fan films. Like there's some Darth Nihilus fan films out there as well too. Right. I don't know if Disney is cracks down on that more than when George owned it or not, or if people are afraid maybe get a cease and desist letter. I don't know, but like, as long as you're not like making profit off of it, you should be fine. But yeah, there are some good ones out there, and I hope to see more.
And I guess you can't use the music, right? Because then Disney will flag it.
Yeah.
Just don't use that music, everybody.
Yeah, there's people out there to do some great similar things music-wise that you can find on YouTube that you could use for sure. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Tim on something says, hey.
Hey, Timon. Yep, he's a big supporter of our channel, and he makes a lot of trivia for our Monday Night Trivia show as well, too. So.
Oh, cool.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Good guy.
Nice.
Brazilian guy. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've been, not too long ago, I've been meeting a lot of Star Wars fans and stuff, all from all around the world. I see met a few people from, where is it, Arizona, not Arizona, Australia, and
Oh
then
yeah.
England, people up in Britain. Our nemesis, I guess. our nemesis, our nemesis, however you say it.
Yeah, there's a guy that is on my channel sometimes. His name is Raging Rhino. He's from Australia. He's a big Star Wars guy too. Big Star Wars guy. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely like all that stuff. So you also do what's another one of your favorites? I think I saw some Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, right now we're doing Star Trek watch parties. I've never watched Star Trek.
Oh, really?
There's another channel, Open Airlock Policy. The guy Tim and a friend of mine, Greg, who did a channel for a bit, who doesn't do much on it anymore. They are huge Star Trek fans, and I was talking to Greg behind the scenes a while back, and I'm like, I really would like to go back and actually watch Star Trek, because I'd never watched anything. Like, I'd seen a few episodes of TOS when I was a kid, a few episodes of TNG here and there, and a couple of the movies, because a friend of mine growing up was a massive fan, and he'd take me to the theater with him to see the movies, and I had no idea what was going on, of course, because I wasn't following TNG at the time. So we decided to start watching from scratch, and we're actually on season 1, almost done with season 1 of TNG. We watched the original series all the way through, and then the film series all the way through, and now we're on TNG, and we're going to go all the way until, I think was it Enterprise was the last one, before before Star Trek went in a different direction, let's say. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because I don't think I'll watch Discovery or Picard or anything, because I've heard some really bad stuff from like Greg and Tim that are Star Trek fans tell me, please don't watch that when you're done with these. It'll really stain the experience. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed getting, especially the original series, and get to see Captain Kirk and Spock's relationship and McCoy, like Bones, and really great dynamic, really great acting on that show, really great storytelling. Season 3 is a little bit rough here and there, but it was fun to go back and watch it all. And the remastered versions are on Amazon Prime right now. So
okay, so what years was that when you started watching them?
Oh, really?
Like
it's back last summer, I believe, when we started watching Star Trek, because we were doing it twice a week. We were doing it Sunday nights and Tuesday night, and it got to the point recently where we were all streaming so much that, like, Tim would stream on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and he's like, let's take Tuesday off, and we'll just do Star Trek on Sundays, and that gives me Tuesdays to spend time with my family, but also working on videos for my channel. I'm like, that'll work.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Cool. It's been I think it's been over a year, or just about a year, since we started watching Trek.
Okay.
So,
okay. So you started from the beginning?
Oh, cool.
When they first started making them up until...
Yep, first season of the original series where we started. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think when I was a kid, I liked those ones better than the 90s ones. When I was, I liked the earlier ones. I don't know why. I think it was something to do with... I actually don't know. But, but I don't know. It was different. That's for sure.
There's a lot of great character stuff with Spock and McCoy and Kirk and the crew in the original series. A lot of great stuff too, and even in the films. I mean, great stuff. Yes, like Timon says in the chat, it's Star Trek Sundays is what we call it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, he's watching with us too. He's never watched it either. So we've had people in our chat that are watching for the first time as well too. So it's
cool.
But it's nice to have somebody like Greg and Tim who have that experience, and Tim has all like the technological manuals for the ships and stuff. So he really knows a lot of the deep dives into the ships and the mechanical elements of Star Trek, and a lot of the lore both of them know. To where they'll explain stuff, after the show, like this is because of this and this, and they'll get into that more later. And it's just nice to have people like that to kind of help guide me on my way when I would have kind of been lost on where to start or where to go, or like if I was confused.
Right.
So it's been nice to have those big fans like that.
Yeah, that is nice. Now how's the lore coming out now compared to back then? I mean, are they changing it kind of like Star Wars? Disney's changing the lore?
They're erasing a lot of stuff. Yes, they are.
I wonder why people do that. Is it so that they get more, I don't know, visitors or something? More people to watch it? I don't understand.
They want to be the creative force behind it.
I believe some of it.
They want to say that they put it down. Yeah.
They want to have their
Yeah.
legacy. I mean, like if you look at like let's say Doctor Who. I'm not a fan of Doctor Who. I've never really watched the show.
Right.
But I watched a video by Nerdrotic, Gary from Nerdrotic last year. There was an episode of Doctor Who that literally went back and he erased all like retold the original canon and changed it to the point where they can't change it again. Like they've already screwed it up, and to the point where even as a Star Trek fan, I knew Luke, we got it bad with Luke in Last Jedi, but apparently it was way worse. They got it way worse than we did, to the point where they just erased it and
And
Really?
made it
Yeah.
They started from the beginning and changed everything and it's basically an erase. They're doing a lot of that with Trek now. Like they've got like Spock is in the Discovery now, and he's not the same Spock, even though it's not too far off from where he will be Spock in TOS. So it's like I can watch the pilot Star Trek and I watched, because in the pilot of Star Trek they hadn't figured out Spock's character yet. He had emotions, he smiled, he laughed, before he became more stoic and more based on logic, and before they kind of developed that Vulcan lore. So I think that's maybe they just watched the first couple episodes and they're like, okay, that's Spock. Yeah. Correct. It's Timon's right. It's laziness. They don't want to do the work and research the lore. They just kind of want to do their own thing. And it's just, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Incomplacent. Yep. That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So,
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't really watch anything anymore, really, because I went to film school and everything. We talk about story and character development, and you got to know your character inside and out and everything. And if you don't know that, you're not going to have really good story. Even to the tiny details of like, what's your favorite character's favorite color, and why is it that? Like that, in those little minute details, you wouldn't think that is important, but it is.
Yes.
so
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're writing a story and you're just writing a scene to get to that scene, just so the characters can be there. That's we know that's not how a story's supposed to be. There's supposed to be a reason for these characters to get to that point. I mean, if you look at something like the Ghostbusters reboot, I mean, basically it was written to just get them to those points in the story without telling a story or a character study. So it's unfortunate because I mean, the original Ghostbusters, the characters were fantastic.
Yeah,
really well written, really well rounded characters. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, great movie.
Last year I just made my own proton packs.
So nice.
That was fun. Out of junk. So
nice. That's pretty cool, though. That's cool. Yeah. I like hearing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably post a video sooner or later about how I did it. But
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A few people told me, "Hey, why don't you do that? Post a video." I'm like, the editing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is a whole. It is. That's what takes some time for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I think I'll do it just because some people are interested in seeing how I did it, how I made them.
Yeah, so I think so too. I think you should.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, and you can start selling them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, make some.
People might want to buy it. You never know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. People love to buy that. Like
Bill
that
Murray
kind of
might give you a call.
Yeah, there you go. You might get to be in the sequel to Afterlife.
That's right. I hope that movie actually turns out good. It looks promising.
I'm very positive about it. I mean, like you can tell that. I mean, Bill Murray's he didn't come back. I think he came back as well too, because after what happened in the Ghostbusters reboot, he was like, we need to go back and kind of finish these characters out and send them off on a good note.
2016 was not that great.
No, it took me 3 sittings to get to that movie.
Yeah,
and yeah.
The only thing I liked about it was the proton packs and the gadgets. Some of the gadgets were pretty cool looking.
I will say that the kind of the evolution of showing how they making the gadgets and what they were. I did like that part. Yes.
Yeah. But everything else, I don't know. They just didn't write it good.
Well, of course, you can tell a lot of it. They didn't write a lot of it. They improvised a lot of it.
Yeah,
the director's like a lot of it was improvised, and you can tell. You can tell for sure. You can tell.
Yeah,
it stands out.
Have you seen any of those pitch meetings from Screen Rant?
Yes, I love those.
I think he did one for that movie, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so how are you going to write the comic parts? Well, don't the don't the actors supposed to do that part? You know?
Yeah. He's like, no. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's exactly how I think it went. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
The director's like, no, I'll have them do it. Yeah, like,
just
wait, you don't have a script? Yeah.
Yeah. So dumb.
Well, yeah, I'm not a comedian. I can't write comedy parts. Yeah, I think that's basically said. Yeah, yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, that is a fun show.
It really is. Really, really, really creative too. Yeah, really creative.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, any more questions, Matthew? You got any questions for Jeff?
So you write your own stuff?
Yeah. A lot of my stuff is unscripted.
The creative force just comes as it goes.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a few things I write that are scripted, but most of it is not. And I try to record in one take, and I'd have to go back and cut it up, But sometimes it happens where you have to cut out mistakes and stuff. But yeah. I haven't done a lot of like video essays and stuff on my channel.
Sure.
I'll probably be doing some more of that. I think what I'm looking at doing for Star Wars Day might be something like that, but it'll be shorter because it does take time to put those together. It really does.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, but I do have a few things that I've scripted before that it takes time to put that together, put clips together, put photos together, and put to get it all ready to go. So yeah, hats off to people who do that because it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you love about Star Wars?
I think Star Wars. I don't know what I love about Star Wars. Oh man, the adventure and the characters is what got me as a kid. I saw Empire when I was 4 in the theater. My dad took me. I don't have a lot of memories when I was really little, but I have a memory of standing on my dad's lap in the theater watching the walkers go through the snow. That's one of my first memories I remember. Yeah. And it from there, my dad told me it was all I ever talked about was Star Wars. That's it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think Empire Strikes Back is a lot of people's favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
it is mine.
Yeah. Is it? Cool.
Yes. Yeah, it's really sometimes you'll catch me on that weird week where I'll say A New Hope because that movie is fantastic as well. But Empire is just such a great film all around.
Yeah.
No wonder they teach it in some film schools as like almost the perfect film because it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done. The story, the characters. Irvin Kershner did a great job with the directing on that one. Right. George did a great job with the story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. My brother would say the reason why Empire's better is because George didn't direct it.
Didn't direct it, yeah. It's funny, too, that you say that because a lot of people's favorites are A New Hope, like the 77 Star Wars, and
yeah.
I think a lot of times it's because people might have seen that one first. Because I saw Empire first, and it's my favorite, but I was 4, and I didn't remember a lot about it, and I saw Return of the Jedi when I got a little bit older, so I could kind of understand, and I love Return of the Jedi, don't get me wrong, I do. Yeah. And I get the Ewoks, and I understand why people hated Jar Jar in the prequels, but we had the Ewoks when I was a kid. And then George needed to give them something because he knew episodes 2 and 3 were going to be darker, more adult. You kind of had to have a kid thing to get it out of the way. So, it was the same thing with Ewoks when we were kids. But the adults probably freaking hated the Ewoks. So.
Right, that's true.
But,
now
Little Bears beat the Empire.
Yeah, right. Now, let's talk about Jar Jar Binks for a second here. This is, my opinion is, what happened to that character? He was like almost the main thing in episode 1. And then in episode 2 and 3, he's like no longer in existence.
I think George basically wanted to kind of set him aside because he knew, I've got to get to the story now, and it's going to get a little bit darker. But, Jar Jar is the one who gave the emergency powers to the Chancellor, so let's not forget that. So he did play a small yet big role in Attack of the Clones. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Now, I think that's what he wanted to do. I think he just kind of wanted to have him in the first film, feature him in the second a little bit, and then third maybe just a tiny bit because he needed to kind of get to the meat of the story after that.
Right. Now, I would always think that I've heard this online, and it was kind of my opinion too, is that I thought they just got rid of Jar Jar because people didn't like him. Right?
I think that's part of it too. I do think that's part of it as well.
Right. And I thought maybe Jar Jar was supposed to play a bigger role in the demise of the darkness that happens or whatever, just because he's a funny, goofy guy.
Yeah.
I saw in some internet stuff where he's like using the Force, where he's moving his lips to make people talk, and then you see him moving around.
People are creative, that is for sure.
Ways. Yeah, you know. So I was like, you know what, that makes sense. What if Jar Jar was supposed to be like?
What if Jar Jar was the Sith Lord?
Yeah,
exactly. What if he's the Sith Lord?
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean,
and he just used that drunken style martial arts, while he's doing it.
I'll pretend I'm incompetent and a klutz, so they don't think otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some pretty good videos online that break down and show, like you were saying, like this is what happens. This is how he was the Sith Lord. So yeah, it's very unique, and I'm sure Disney was like, why didn't we go that route? That'd been better, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. Darth Jar Jar. Yeah. I wonder if George wasn't persuaded by everybody's feelings, if he would have gone a different route with Jar Jar Binks and all in the stories,
I wonder. That's a possibility, because I mean, there was a lot of backlash against Jar Jar, but it was, like I said, it was from the adults. I mean, a lot of my friends and even me at the time were like, okay, Jar Jar Binks. But if I could go back in time, I would tell myself, like, hey, it's going to get worse, so this is really awesome what you're getting right now. So just remember that. Just remember that Jar Jar is fine. You're fine. Be fine with Jar Jar right now. Yeah, be fine. You'll take a 10-hour movie of Jar Jar over what you're going to get down the road. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Clone Wars?
Yes.
I finished that last year. I thought that was fantastic.
I'm a big Clone Wars fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Because they just finished the seventh season. Yeah, that was wow. That was something.
The last 4 episodes with Ahsoka and Darth Maul and the whole thing was. Yeah. That was really well done. Like really well done. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some of the best animation I've seen in a long time.
Oh yes, I completely agree with that.
They've come a long way. If you go back and watch the first season, you're like, they're barely even moving. They're not doing a whole lot of movement.
Right.
It's but yeah, I really enjoyed the Clone Wars. I did.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I really like Ahsoka too. So.
Oh yeah, I even enjoyed Rebels. Yeah, I enjoyed Rebels too. Right after that, that was great too.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised because I was like, let me give this a shot, and I'm like, wow, this is really good.
I was kind of surprised how much I didn't hate it going in, because I mean, I actually liked seeing adult Ahsoka. There was some things in it I didn't like. I liked the Vader stuff. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I loved the second season so much, because of how much Vader was in it.
Sure.
Because that's, when you talk about my collecting, that's all I like. My majority of my stuff is Darth Vader. So.
Oh, nice.
The whole part about being outside of time, I was like, what is happening right now?
That was interesting too. Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people were wondering if they're going to use that to kind of, erase the Disney, like erase the trilogy and start over again. I'm like,
oh, I hope not.
I hope not either. I don't want to don't use time travel, please. Time travel never works.
Yeah. It looks so hard to get to that place. Even the Dark Sith Lord was like, how did you get to this place? Mm-hmm. I couldn't even get to here. It's so hard. So I'm like, yeah.
Did you like the original Clone Wars series, the 2D animated series, the one that they released right before Revenge of the Sith?
I have to rewatch it again. I liked some of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing too. That was pretty amazing too. Yeah.
I think that came out on Disney Plus, right? That's on there now.
Yeah,
right?
it's on there now too.
Yeah,
they have a lot of classic stuff, like Star Wars stuff on there now too. So, like, they have the old Ewok movies on there too. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch those, because I remember watching those as a kid with my brothers and stuff. Like, Caravan of Courage was one of our favorite things when we were kids.
Ewoks that eat humans,
Yes,
yeah. I just found that out.
Yeah, I know. Like, how did they have a dress for Leia then? Where's the person that wore that dress? Right.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly, because they ate them.
Yeah. How'd they get those helmets as drums? They must have ate the guys.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what they're cooking the whole time. Everybody's eating like dead stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, what was it? Luke, Leia, and Han Solo were about to be cooked. So
that's right. They were.
Yeah. So they look cute, but they're pretty vicious.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Leia being there and them accepting her and C-3PO, thinking he's a god, they'd be dead.
Yeah.
Killed and eaten by teddy bears. For sure.
That's right. That's right. Oh man, that's funny. Just to go back, just a couple of minutes. Timon said that the most of Jar Jar backlash was the media.
He's correct. Yes. Yeah, a lot of it was from the media.
Really?
You'll see the spin online now that the fans were the ones who bullied Ahmed Best. No, it was the media that was that took it out of him. The critics really hammered it. So he got a lot of, like, over the years, it's been from the media and from critics. Yeah. I mean, there's been some fan backlash over the prequels. I mean, but I've never, ever heard or seen any even in the documentaries and in big groups and discussions about Ahmed Best and, like, bullying him or talking anything negative about him, because nobody blames him. He didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, the media, it was the media and the critics. Yes.
Yeah.
He's right.
What's funny was that they said that he used some kind of Jamaican accent. To me, it didn't sound Jamaican at all. I had a few Jamaican people that I used to work with in Orlando, and they didn't sound nothing like that. You know, Misa, sir, Misa, Jar Binks. You know,
I'm pretty sure he came up with that on his own too. Yeah, I think he came up with the voice. Yeah.
So
it's not like George was telling him, talk like this, speak like this. I think he came up with it on his own.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure George had an idea, but yeah.
Right, of course. So that always made me wonder, you know, like, hey, you know, I didn't really think like that about the character, you know, especially the actor who made him up.
Me neither.
You know?
Absolutely not. So, you can hate the character all you want. It just leaves, you know, don't give the actor any kind of heat like that. I mean,
no, exactly. Especially, you know, I mean, in a movie, it's more than just the actor. It's the whole picture.
Exactly.
It's the director. It's the writer. It's the
film.
You know, it's the filmmaker. It's the editor. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what actually makes the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you can get some great actors together, and if you have a bad director, it could be like a crappy movie. You know, it'd be almost like a B movie.
Yeah, we've seen that happen before with the A-list stars going into movies that turn out to be crappy because the directing and the script was bad. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you know, obviously we like George Lucas, but we know that his directing is not the best. You know.
No, and I think a lot of people have issues with the prequels. There was a great story there. The execution might not have been the best.
Right.
But, you know, like nobody was really telling him no back then. He kind of just did what he wanted to do, you know, and, you know, I mean, are you going to step in and tell George, no, you can't do that? No. I mean, who's going to do that, you know? But I mean,
exactly.
Even in the episode 1, like a documentary behind the scenes, you can see, like, after the film was screened for him and the producers, he even says, maybe I think I went a little bit overboard on this one too much. Maybe a little bit too much for this one. And, you know, I mean, even he says it.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, and George is not an actor's director either. And then you've heard interviews with, like, you know, Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen where they'll do a take. And George's like, okay, cut, we got it. And Ewan's like, well, wait, I can do it better than that, right? He's like, no, we got it. He usually takes it in one take. So imagine if it was an actor's type director working on a film like that. He could have gotten, like, even Ewan's performance in those movies isn't the best, but when you're getting off the first take and it's your first time giving those lines, usually you do multiple takes and the director picks the best one. Right. But I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to do that when you only have one take to go on. So
yeah, no, that's true. Maybe he thought everybody was going to leak things if he took more than one take. You know?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't think he really kind of is in the headspace of an actor when he's directing. Yeah,
right.
It's like Malcolm McDowell. He only does one take and that's it.
Yeah,
they move on.
Yeah. He's like, well, I got it.
Yep, we're good.
You got it. Wrap it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what makes bad movies, though.
Yeah. I believe, and I don't hate the prequels. I love the prequels. I mean, I do. And I was 99. I was almost 20 years old when episode 1 came out. And so all my friends, we all went lined up and went to theater. I mean, it's just George, like Timon says, George is a world builder. Like he does a really good job building that world he knows everything in the back of his mind. Right. I mean, a lot of people talk about the expanded universe and how, it wasn't canon. George didn't approve. George approved all of it. He had to approve specific things.
Write his name on it.
Yes, he couldn't. Yeah. They couldn't overlap. You had people like Leland Shee, who still works at Lucasfilm now, and other people that kind of were keepers of the lore that they would figure out if this is going to work, if it's not going to work. And George would be like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, Dave Filoni wanted to do Revan and a couple of other Sith Lords as ghosts in the Mortis arc in Clone Wars. And George's like, no, you can't do that because the Sith cannot be Force ghosts. They're not pure in the Force. They've twisted the Force and used it to their advantage. They've perverted the idea of the Force, so they cannot become one with the Force. So
unless you have that redemption or salvation like Vader did.
Yeah, and then you look at like a book like Labyrinth of Evil, which was set before Episode 3. The book literally leads into Episode 3, and there's mention of the book, parts of the book, in the Episode 3 in the film. So, I mean, George knew what he was doing with these books and this canon. So a lot of people who don't like the EU or who are more Disney Star Wars fans who always say the EU isn't canon, well, it was canon because George always approved it. He always did. There's a lot of resources out there that shows that, yeah, George did approve everything. And there's a lot of things he loved about the EU. There's specific stories that he loved more than anything else. So he knew what was going on and he had to approve all of it. So yeah.
Yeah. He basically was Star Wars.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Yes.
Yep. I mean,
still is.
So, yeah, definitely. In our opinion, anyways, Disney doesn't think so. But
No.
No. So, when The Mandalorian came out, I think at first it was a refresher. How did you feel about The Mandalorian?
Before The Mandalorian was released, I went to Celebration that year up in Chicago. And we attended the panel with Favreau and the cast and everybody, and Filoni was there.
Oh, cool!
And so they were discussing the show. They were talking about a space western, a bounty hunter who would go on different adventures, hunting different bounties, and it kind of be like the rough, dirty side of the galaxy. Right. And I'm like, this sounds incredible. This is what I would love to see that kind of part. They were going to do that with that scrapped video game, Star Wars 1313. It was going to be like the underground of Coruscant with Boba Fett, and this was kind of going to be something like that, maybe. Right, we're going to get that gritty side. And then I first watched the show. I enjoyed it. And the Baby Yoda thing kind of like took me back a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he'll still do some bounties. And it's kind of became more like Adventures of Babysitting kind of a show for a bit. And, and I watched the first season.
Spider Planet now.
Correct, yeah. And I enjoyed the first season. And I went back and I've watched this first season 3 times. The first time I watched it through, I enjoyed it. Second time, not as much. And the third time, it really breaks down quite a bit. To where, like, there's a couple episodes that stick out quite a bit where he has to go onto the New Republic prison that's in space. That was probably the best episode of season 1. Yeah. And I wish it would have been more about that and less about the Force. Because, I mean, they even said in a lot of interviews that they weren't going to have the Force. They weren't going to have the Jedi. This is going to be away from that. And of course, in season 2, we have Ahsoka. We have lightsabers now.
Yeah, we got all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know why they packed so many in season 2.
It seems like Disney can't let anything go without lightsabers of the Force because they don't think it's going to work. And it would work.
Yeah, it would.
It will. But yeah.
In season 2, I like that episode of, I forgot who the guy was that was wearing Boba Fett's armor. The first season was Cobb Vanth. That was a cool season. I like that one. And I was like, oh man, are they going to bring the Boba Fett from the prequels back? Because that would be cool.
Like Tamora, the actor Tamora Morrison. Yeah, basically that's the only person you could get to play him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't bring anybody else in because it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
but that character, that sheriff that had the Boba Fett armor in season 2, was in the Aftermath series in those books, and. Unfortunately, I've read the Aftermath series. It's not a great series of books. It's really poorly written. But also, another big problem with that is the story with Cobb Vanth in the Aftermath is different. So they've kind of rewritten their own... They do this a lot. Disney canon, they step on their own toes, and they kind of overwrite what they've already done and change it.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Bad Batch, that just happened. Caleb Dune, Kanan Jarrus, his little intro and... what happened to him in the beginning of the Bad Batch is completely different than what happened in the comic that they'd already written about him. So they kind of can't keep track of their own stuff, which is unfortunate. Oh yeah, because I remember watching the first episode of The Mandalorian, and I was talking with Greg and Rhino after the show, and I told Greg, I'm like, "You've read Aftermath too? Didn't they completely rewrite Cobb Vanth's story?" He's like, "Absolutely, it's nothing like it was in the book. Like they completely because in the book it's completely different how he finds the armor than it is in the show." So, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's one thing that frustrates me about them is, too, why can't you have that many people working for you, and you can't... You're supposed to have a story group, and you can't keep that stuff straight. So, it's going to be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Season 2, I think, was worse than Season 1, writing-wise especially. I mean, let's point something out real quick. I'll point out one thing. So Boba Fett appears in that episode where he takes Grogu to the temple.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett shows up, and Boba Fett fights off, 30 plus stormtroopers, okay?
Yeah.
And then he gets in his ship, and he's flying up into space, chasing that ship, and he's like, oh my god, the Empire, they're back! Like, dude, you just fought 30 stormtroopers. Where do you think they came from? It just either the editing was like they re-edited the episode or something, or they just didn't care.
Right.
And
that's where we're gonna put that line right
it
there.
Just it made. I was like, you just killed like 80 stormtroopers on the ground. You know where they came from? They're the Imperial stormtroopers. So it just was really off. Like, what? Why'd you say that for? That's a very weird thing to say.
Interesting they didn't have like a script editor to say, maybe he should say it before that, you know? Yeah. Or something, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of weird things in that season. Like the whole scientist lab.
Honestly,
weird.
my opinion on Ahsoka, seeing her live as a live character, I think they could have used a different actor. I mean, I like what's her name? I forget her name.
Rosario Dawson.
Dawson, yeah. Mm-hmm. I like her, but I don't think she is a good Ahsoka. I don't know, in my opinion. What's your opinion on that?
I didn't hate her performance as Ahsoka. It's funny because she's been fan cast in that role for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Oh, really? And we've been seeing that lately. People have been fan cast in these roles, and all of a sudden they'll get the role. You know what I mean? Oh. Like Brie Larson was fan cast as Captain Marvel for years and years and years, and then they announced her as Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. She sucked as a Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and she was a different person before that too. Like when they first announced the series, she was a different person. Even in front of the camera or behind the scenes in interviews, she was a different person. Right. But I thought she did a decent job. It was to me, even though like I wasn't a fan of the season of The Mandalorian, I did enjoy finally seeing Ahsoka in live action. I will say that. I was kind of like, it was kind of like a Star Wars moment for me. Like, oh man, we're getting to see Ahsoka. I kind of did have a little bit of those, goosebumps pop up a little bit here and there. Something I haven't gotten from Star Wars in a while.
Right.
And I was like, man, I get to see Ahsoka on screen, like finally in live action. Yeah. But yeah, I thought she did I agree there probably was somebody that could have done better, but I think she did a really good job with what she was given.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, after a couple of times watching it, I think I got used to it. But at first, it was just like, the facial features didn't do it for me. Because it's not quite the facial features of the animated series. So I was like, come on, they couldn't have picked someone better with all the money they have.
Yeah.
That always goes back to that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know a lot of people wanted Ashley Eckstein to actually play the character since she voiced the character, but she's a shorter person. I think they wanted a taller actress for her. Because, if you look at her in Rebels, like as an adult, she's a very tall and slender character. Mm-hmm. I think she's as tall or around the same height as Kanan Jarrus. So, really? She's a very tall character and very kind of a larger than life character in that show, Rebels. Mm-hmm. I in Rebels, I think she is my favorite part of that show. Like bring Ahsoka back and the reveal, like her getting the reveal that Anakin is Darth Vader. Like I love that part. I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see what Timon says. Timon.
he's not wrong there. He's not wrong. Yeah, Captain Marvel's just a bad character anyway. Everyone would suck. I think this Captain Marvel might be one of the character that has been rebooted and canceled the most times of any comic book character. Like they'll give her a run, it'll last a short time, they'll cancel it. They'll come back, give her another run, it'll run for a bit, they'll cancel it, and it just keeps happening over and over again because nobody wants to buy. Nobody really likes that character.
Right. Obviously this is off Star Wars, but. Captain Marvel, wasn't that a man at one point?
The original Captain Marvel is Shazam from DC Comics. Okay, like Captain Marvel, that's who he is. Yeah,
right. I remember that one, but wasn't when Marvel took over the name? Wasn't it a man first, or was it like a team of her and a man. I forget.
It was. I'm trying. I think Captain Marvel at one point was a man, but I think the first Captain Marvel was Monica. Was it Monica Rambeau? No, it's not Monica Rambeau. I'm thinking of somebody else. But Monica Rambeau was eventually Captain Marvel, but I'm trying to remember the first Captain Marvel. Yes, it was a male character. You're correct. Yes, yeah.
Okay,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that threw me off when I was told, oh, it's a woman. I didn't follow the stuff that closely. When I was told it was a woman, I was like, I thought he was a man. Oh well,
Yeah. Yeah.
But who I thought did a good job doing Captain Marvel was the X-Men back in the 90s, the cartoon series.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Rogue took all her powers.
Yes.
So I think they did a good job for that.
Yeah, that was a fantastic show, by the way. I absolutely love that series. Love it.
Yeah. After watching that show, it made me not really like the X-Men movies all that much. Honestly, I was like, they got a lot of characters wrong.
Yeah. Timon, you're correct. Yeah, first Captain Marvel was Marvel. It was a Kree. Yeah, that's correct. It was a Kree. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I always wondered, like with the X-Men movies, like why do we continuously have black leather costumes?
Yeah,
over and over again. That was my biggest complaint. I did enjoy the first two. And I still think my favorite is still First Class, I believe.
Okay.
Even though I do know a lot more history about the X-Men, and I know it's not exactly what happens in the comics. I understand that. But I really enjoyed that one quite a bit. I thought that was my favorite. But Days of Future Past was good. Apocalypse is okay. And I've been told not to watch Dark Phoenix. I've been told, do not watch Dark Phoenix, because you will really not like it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch it because I didn't really like Apocalypse that much. So I was like,
Apocalypse was like half it was okay. Some of the character designs were great. Like Storm's design was fantastic. It was like ripped right out of the comics, but not used enough. And it's just
right.
I don't know. The costume for Apocalypse is way off, and it just did not look right to me at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I think that was the biggest problem with a lot of people was the way he looked.
Yeah. And that whole Egyptian thing in the beginning what kind of threw me off. I was like, why?
Yeah.
That's right. Apocalypse was stupid.
Yes. Hey, Timon, that's correct. Yeah. Apocalypse was stupid. Yeah.
I like that.
But Jason, who does the Cantina stuff with me and who also works on my channel, told me he watched Dark Phoenix on a plane to Paris last year. He said he threw his freaking headphones like after it was over. He's like, what in the world is happening? His wife's like, what's wrong?
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm not talking about it.
Cinema is ruined.
He was really mad. He texted me after he landed, I think 10 minutes after he landed. He's like, don't watch Dark Phoenix.
Okay. Nice.
Because I had thought about watching it, and and he's like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Well, I guess if you want to do it as a review.
Yeah.
On your channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe, but other than that, I probably wouldn't either.
No. Not after Apocalypse. I was pretty much done anyway.
Yeah. I mean, after X-Men 3, I was pretty much done.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
I actually saw that in theaters.
So did I. Yeah, so did I.
I was like, crap.
I was like, what is this? Is this the same continuity? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. And then they did the origins of Wolverine.
Nice.
And I was like, I mean, I like Hugh Jackman. He's a great Wolverine, but, the writing, they get it wrong.
Man. So, with X-Men Origins Wolverine, I saw that movie. I found it online. It leaked before the special effects were done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the first time I watched it too.
And so I remember I was watching it, and I think I even called Jason right after that because I was living in Ohio at the time. I was like, "Don't watch that, dude. Don't even go to the theater and watch that. You're not going to want to see what that is." He's like, "Well, maybe they've changed it. Maybe they've changed a little bit and re-edited stuff." And he's like, "Nope, you're right. That was bad. That was bad." Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you're a bit Deadpool fan. Do not watch this movie."
So, right, exactly. Especially the Deadpool fans. Oh, they hated the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad I wasn't a Deadpool fan. So.
Man. Can you imagine? Like that wasn't even Ryan Reynolds at the end, and he didn't even see that until the premiere. So we had no idea that's what
Really?
happened. Yeah,
Really?
and he was like,
Wow.
apparently he was really, really angry about that.
Yeah, of course.
Because, I mean, he's a huge Deadpool fan anyway, so
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
one of the
yeah,
reasons he
for
pushed
sure.
for that role.
Exactly.
But yeah, he got to come back and give it what it was due. So that's good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
for
for
him.
him. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they
Yeah,
did
and-
that whole time thing where he goes back.
Yeah, I love that.
That was great.
It's like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
That was great. Yeah. And Timon's right. Yeah, best thing. The only good thing about X3 was the Beast. Like,
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer as Beast was absolutely perfect casting. Just
Oh, yeah, of
perfect
course.
casting. Worked really well.
Better than the X-Men First Class guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. That guy did a good job because it's more at the beginning of the character. But yeah, Kelsey Grammer's Beast
he
was
did a great Beast,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. That was-
Unfortunately, we
that was
didn't get to see more of it.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The good characters you don't see much of. It's the all the weird.
Actually, did we see a little bit of it in Days of Future Past? I think he was in Days of Future Past for a little bit, like short time.
Oh, was he?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe. It's been a
Yeah,
while since
little
I've seen that. So
Yeah, it's me too.
good movie though.
Yeah,
Good movie.
Yeah, it was decent. The whole time traveling thing.
Yeah, they did it where it wasn't as bad as some movies do with time travel. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I'm looking at you, Endgame.
That's so funny. Oh,
I mean,
man. And
That movie was great in first viewing because you're wanting to
Yeah,
wrap
yeah,
up the
of course.
and then you watch it again, you're like, what? Yeah, and then
yeah,
the third viewing, you're like, oh, huh? No, yeah. It's still a good film. I still think Infinity War is miles ahead of it too. But I
Right,
mean,
right.
yeah, it was a decent wrap up for the series.
Yeah,
the time travel
definitely.
thing was like,
Yeah, that was just strange. They should have found a different way to do it. You know.
Yeah.
They gotta get Doc and Marty to change
What
it.
if? Yeah,
Exactly. There you go. There you go. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. They know how to do it. I mean, at least they did a good job with that. And
Yeah.
that's how you write time travel.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the '80s.
Yeah,
And what was it? Early '90s, late '80s,
late '80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even there are still some cracks in the time travel stories in Back to the Future, but I mean, still
Right.
they
Sure.
do it much better than a lot of movies and books do. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
Of course.
They took their time back in the day.
yeah, absolutely. They did. Yeah.
They thought about
Yeah.
it. Now they
Yeah.
don't think about it. They're just like, well, if we go back in time, we could change all this stuff, And so they try to change I don't know, probably who knows if they do it in Star Wars, but they'll change the lore.
See,
And
to
they'll
me in
change.
cinema, the special effects should be the icing on top. I know I said this before on the channel, and then the story.
I
Going back
agree.
to the story, like
Yeah.
when you see the special effects happen, you're like, oh wow, because it's just a little icing on top with the immense story that's being told. That's more what I like. So.
I agree. That special effects are they're not what you pay to see. You mean they're there.
Right.
It's great. But yeah, you want to see a good story with good characters and a good
Right.
plot, and you want it to flow naturally. So
Right.
yeah. You want the characters to get to certain points because they're supposed to, not because the script says you got to be at this point by this time in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that
Oh, yes.
I think that's one reason why I like the Mandalorian is because they didn't use a lot of special effects. I know they used that background, that weird TV screen background, but other than that, they used like the aliens were kind of
practical.
like masks, practical masks and stuff. It wasn't just the CGI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about it. Definitely, yeah.
That technology is going to really, really move forward, and it's going to end up being the way they do it from now on. It's going to save a lot of time and money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is good.
yeah, with that TV screen thing. Oh,
Absolutely, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, you don't even
ILM
have to go
continues
anywhere.
to advance forward all the time. So
Yeah,
That's very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
George's ILM.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
They did a good job. I remember hearing that George was started to do film for a TV series type of thing, right? And
I think so.
but it didn't go anywhere. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing right now. What he wants to do. To be honest with you, he's probably just like, I don't think I'd do anything.
Yeah. No. Exactly. He
And-
doesn't have to do anything.
George
And
should
if
have a
you've-
show like Kirby or Enthusiasm. He should do something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
I would love it. I'd watch that. I'd watch that in a
I
heartbeat.
would
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That would be great.
Was,
I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
There was a guy that was going around, going to like the Star Wars and like dressing up as him, or like a deep fake.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting in the chair. This is stupid. I don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop watching it. It was hilarious. I want more of that.
Me too. I'd love to see. I'd pay to watch that. They have an old bitter George Lucas, like, you know, with other like actors and comedians at his age in Hollywood, maybe, you know, like, you know.
Yeah. Ruined it all.
Yeah. I like
look what they did.
Yeah.
They ruined it. Have Harrison Ford like next to him smoking weed the whole time because that's all he does.
Yeah.
Shut up, George. Write more Indiana Jones.
There you go. All right. Speaking of Indiana Jones, I heard some stuff.
Yeah. It's not going to be good.
No.
It's not going to be good. No. It's like it's what happens now. It's like, you know, we get a dominant male character, but they have to have a female character outshine them always. So that's what's going to happen with...
strange. I don't know why they do that stuff. I mean, I guess I get the whole woman powering thing, but
we've had that for a long time. We don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Long time.
I mean, even if you watch movies, even in like the 40s and the 50s, you know, even though women back then they were more elegant, but they still had a strong presence, you know.
Absolutely.
And even though because they were like the one pushing the men to do stuff, you know. Hey, you got to do this. So the man's like, okay, I'll go do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's strange how they don't see that is, you know, an empowered woman back then compared to a woman that has to grab a lightsaber and go fight for themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I mean, Princess Leia is a female character, but how many people looked up to her, male and female?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
She was
it doesn't matter what your race or your sexual orientation is, or or if you're male or female or, you know, whatever. You can look up to anybody. It doesn't have to, you know. It doesn't have to be. I looked up to Luke Skywalker, and in my teens, I was a pudgy kid, and I did not look like Luke Skywalker. So, of course, you know, I didn't see myself in Luke. I mean, and I always looked up to Princess Leia as well. She was a really great role model. Yeah. I mean, that was a great role model for kids. I mean, and she was one of the ones I looked up to the most in the Star Wars franchise. And it doesn't have to be a man. You can look up to, you know, a woman could be your hero.
Yeah, exactly. Going back for a second here, Josh Putney says, Crystal Skull, bad or worse?
It's going to be worse. You're going to beg for Crystal Skull after this, probably. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. I just watched that recently. I think
Timon said the same thing. Crystal Skull was bad writing.
Correct.
But it's going to be worse. Yeah.
It'll be bad writing plus politics.
That's
right.
That's the theme right now. And
I know. For some reason, they have to show what our world is reflecting now in movies and push the political agenda. And it's not escapism anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't watch movies because I want to be in politics. I watch movies to get out of this world. You know?
I don't want to turn on
for an hour and just be like, just relax, you know.
I don't want to turn on a movie and see the same crap I've seen people argue about on Twitter on my movie. Exactly. I want to be able to escape and enjoy it, and it's hard to do that anymore.
That's why I go watch the old films.
Exactly. That's why you go back. Like, people are always talking about I don't know what to do. Star Wars is so bad. Go back and read the EU. I just started. Go back and read the EU. Yeah. You got so much stuff you can delve into. There is tons of books and comics and stuff to like get into with the EU. Yeah. So much stuff. It'll take you forever to go through it all.
That'd be a cool headline to see. People stopped watching films and started reading books in droves now.
Correct.
What a good story.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be great.
It was classic. We got classic movies. I'm like, we were talking the other night on one of my streams, and one of our guests was talking about how, like, you know, he doesn't want to watch anything new anymore. Like, he doesn't want like with comics. You can't even read comics anymore nowadays.
Yeah.
But there is so much stuff you can go back and read that you'll never have time to read it all. So don't worry about the new stuff. Go back and read the old stuff.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put in a little plug. There's a guy that we interview a couple of times on our show already. He writes books, and that's what he does. And it's a lot of science fiction type styled books, military science fiction.
Oh, wow.
And it's really good. It's called Ruins of the Galaxy, and now he's starting a new series called Ruins of the Earth. So,
wow.
If anybody that's watching right now go check out the interviews, check out his stuff. It's really cool.
Oh yeah,
it's really cool stuff.
We'll do.
Definitely. And I want to go back to the whole race thing. I thought that Finn was going to be a really good character.
Me too.
After,
yeah.
And then then Ryan Johnson wrote his script, and then I was like, what'd they do with Finn? Finn was like, I thought Finn was really going to be a good character.
Me too.
But I don't know.
Me too. I was really hoping he was going to be like this, not where she wasn't the main lead. It was both of them, and they were going to have their own arcs. Maybe they would eventually clash. Like,
right.
Eventually, they both train as Jedi, and maybe she goes to the dark side, and he has to bring her back from the dark side or something like.
Yeah. Something.
I was really hoping he was going to be a Jedi. To be honest with you, I really thought. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of a lot of great rewrites out there. I've read some really great stuff that people have taken the plots and beats from Force Awakens and kind of taken in a different direction, and there's so much stuff they could have done. Yeah, and it's like they gave Ryan Johnson, like, here's an outline and here's a bunch of stuff you could do, and he's like, I just can't do it, and he burns it. He's like, I can't do it. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Here's a check. Okay,
sure, okay. Like, well, why aren't the Knights of Ren here? I don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to do. Like, do something. It's better than nothing. Yeah. I mean, just do something. Right. I mean, I still think he hates Star Wars. He went in hating Star Wars, hating Luke Skywalker. Maybe he got picked on by kids when he was younger or something like that. I don't know. Something happened in his childhood.
Like somebody that would have picked on him as a kid.
Yeah. I just think that something happened to him.
Yeah.
And he just was like, I'm going to tear apart Luke Skywalker. He's just watch what I do to his character, and boy, he did. Right, he really let us have it with Luke Skywalker. I mean, it's like heartbreaking, like absolutely heartbreaking.
That's just that's the strangest way to die. He didn't even die physically. He was like, I don't know, force projecting a hologram or something. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the strangest thing ever that I've ever seen. I was like, after watching that movie, I was like, I don't think I didn't have any more enthusiasm for Star Wars after that. I was like,
nope, that broke me.
Yep, that broke me too. But my Uncle Mike loves Star Wars, and he's a little slow, so all that stuff doesn't bother him,
Yeah,
which I think I wish I was like that.
Yeah.
So he wanted to watch the other Star Wars movie. What's it, the where Rey becomes a Skywalker or whatever it is.
Oh, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
wow, that was a mess.
he wanted to watch that, so I was like, okay,
it's lights and
but oh man, similar situation there. It was just not properly written. I think if they would have written it like the Zack Snyder cut, have like a 4 to 5 hour movie, maybe it would have been better. But they like pushed so much stuff into one little 2 hours, and you're like, I don't know what I watched.
Right.
I feel like JJ. If I would have been JJ, I'd be like, you got to give me 2 parts, otherwise I can't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean it. Here's what I tell people when they ask me, like, what did you think of the Rise of Skywalker? I'm like, it was really badly written, but to be honest with you, it felt like you're in line for a roller coaster, and it doesn't stop. They throw you on it as it's going, and you jump off when it's done. It never stops. There's never a moment in that script for the story to breathe and for the characters to take a break and for the kind of things to kind of happen naturally. It's just beat after beat after beat, and it's just nonstop.
Yeah,
and it's. I see people going back and watching it again because they're like, I just don't remember what happened because there's just so much happening. So, and then they go back and watch again, and they're like, oh, it's even worse this time because it's just. It was just a really. I think JJ's like, I'm just going to write whatever. I mean, I believe
I'm going to put my friends in there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. There's an interview with JJ before the release of Rise of Skywalker. I know Mike from Red Letter Media highlighted it, but there's a point in the interview where he was talking about like where Star Wars is going and what he could do with the script. And he said, "Well, F it, I got to do something, right?" Basically, that was a quote from JJ. So, I mean, he literally a quote from JJ. Well, F it, I got to do something. To the point where you're like, this dude probably doesn't even care anymore. He's just going to write it to get it done and move on. So.
the worst.
That is crazy.
I mean, even the actors, you could tell in their interviews that they don't like the movie either. I mean, hell, you could tell in interviews with Daisy Ridley, she didn't like the Last Jedi. So
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
I think they all got burnt out on that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Especially, gosh, I can't even remember the guy's name. Finn there. What's his name?
Oh yeah, John Boyega.
John Boyega. Yeah, he totally
He's
got
done.
Yeah. Oh, and
Absolutely.
after the rise of Skywalker, he basically blasted it. On Twitter.
Yeah.
I
Good for
actually
him.
haven't seen anything recently from him on Twitter. I think the last thing was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing or what he's up to.
I remember Oscar Isaac's going to be in the Dune reboot, and there's a really cool images from the release from Dune last year, I think Entertainment Weekly or something. And he posted an image of Oscar Isaac in this really cool outfit from Dune on his Instagram. And he's like, "Why couldn't Star Wars have looked this good?"
Yeah, no,
that's what he wrote on his Instagram. Literally taking shots at the movies because he knows that they could have done so much more with his character, and it was just absolutely it's heartbreaking that they had this great African American, he's British, but this black actor that was good actor too. Like, have you ever seen Attack the Block? He was really good in that. And then they just they don't do anything with him at all.
Yeah,
he's a joke. He's a joke in the second one.
They turned him into a joke. They turned him into Jar Binks.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because he had good potential in that first movie there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of potential.
And I was actually rooting for him and what's her name to get together instead of Kylo Ren.
Oh yeah,
I know
that whole Kylo Ren thing with Rey was kind of forced and kind of awkward.
The fans forced it. Yeah,
I was like, that's kind of weird. In my opinion, I was like, they're almost like brother sister. I mean, that's
not just that. He's like her abuser. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird and gross.
And taking off Kylo Ren's shirt made him less effective as a Sith. It made him more like, oh, I'm vulnerable now. When a Sith Lord, they're not vulnerable. I mean, Vader never took anything off. The only thing you saw from him was like the back of his head when his helmet was coming on.
That's right.
And that made it more intimidating, actually, because the back of the head was all like scarred up.
It did. Yeah,
man, this guy's been through a lot.
I was at literally a packed theater for The Force Awakens, and there were some chuckles in the audience when Adam Driver took off the helmet, and people were like, "That's him." Okay, so it's like there was some laughing.
Yeah. No, well, he looks like a tall Jewish man,
It just didn't fit. I mean, that's probably why I used the helmet to be more intimidating to you. To be like Vader, to intimidate, to be like a figurehead in the galaxy. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely taking the helmet off kind of screws things up,
Well, yeah. Look at Ryan destroyed the helmet. JJ welded it back together in the first half an hour of the movie. He's like, no, we're putting this back on. I mean,
that was a
really
cool helmet that I made. What the heck is wrong with you?
And it took them a while to design that. They went through a ton of designs to get to that helmet.
Yeah.
And then can you imagine being JJ Abrams in the theater and watching that, or getting a screening of that and being like, "Oh, come on, man, that's not what I wanted to do." It just. Your creation's destroyed, like all that hard work that you did to put that costume together. And it's like, oh no, we're going to ruin it. We're going to wreck it. It's fine.
Yeah.
This wasn't as intimidating with his mask off. Yeah.
No, exactly. It doesn't work. Definitely doesn't work. Let's see here. Let's go back to some of these. Sorry, everybody, for not grabbing your comments. Let's grab a couple. Josh Putney, Republic. Commando books as original EU are his favorite.
I've heard great things about those books. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ruins of the Galaxy is it Star Wars after Disney? Not quite, but it is a good read. That's for sure. I do like them. So if you guys, check it out. That's all I can say. So Luke's all right. I'm a head out moment.
Yeah, I agree, Josh.
Remember. Yeah.
That was when we were talking about, like, when Luke died. That's what he said. That's Luke's. I'm gonna head out now. Yeah.
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 At least they got JJ to cut down on lens flare.
No kidding. Yeah, that's a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving forward.
Now JJ's free to infect DC. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I know.
I heard some things that Black Superman as Clark Kent, black man. That's weird. Why don't you just take the Superman that is black?
There are two versions of Superman in the multiverse that are at black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
And there's some great black characters in DC Comics they could be using. So I don't know why they're not.
Yeah,
exactly. Doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said on my show the other night, if I was Kevin Feige, head of Marvel, and they were not going to move forward with Henry Cavill, I would call Henry Cavill and get his agent on the phone and be like, "What Marvel superhero do you want to be?" And I'll bring you in on the Avengers. Because if they don't want you, we'll take you because you're the biggest star in the world right now. One of them. Why would you not continue anything with Henry Cavill? That's just stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever happened to the Witcher thing? Are they still doing that? Or?
Yeah. Season 2 I think comes out in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know. I heard about it a lot. Like, what was it? Last summer or something like that.
Yeah,
and then it just died down a little bit. So
that's with Netflix when they put out a binge model like that, and they put out the entire season at once. You'll get 2 or 3 weeks of people talking about the show, but then the hype will die down, and that's why. We've had conversations on my channel multiple times about streaming, whether it be like weekly versus the binge model, and we all lean towards the weekly model because you get that every week, and you kind of get that build up. Then you get more time to talk about the show and speculate on stuff before going right to the next episode. It works. So you get like Mandalorian really took advantage of that in the first season because they were weekly, so people were talking about it for a lot longer than they were talking. Because The Witcher had come out right before the Mandalorian, and it was the binge model. They put out the whole season at once. Yeah, people talked about it for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden there's nobody talking about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the way it's another way to extend the life of your show is to keep it in the weekly model.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Now the other, I like The Witcher's costumes and kind of the storyline. But I think they swore a little bit too much for me. So, I mean, just my opinion. A lot of F-bombs. I think if they lost some of them F-bombs and maybe put some the S's or the something else, just F-bombs do it for me. I'm like, yeah, beep, 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 change the channel.
Yeah,
but that's just
it can be a lot,
Yeah.
Everybody has their own preference. Yeah, it's sometimes it's too much. I think they wanted to be like, well, Game of Thrones did it. Let's do it too.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I'm really hoping we don't get that in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that would be out of place.
I hope not. I hope not. Yeah,
I know. I'm really worried.
Way out of place.
Yeah.
Let's
They've talked about it being their Game of Thrones, so it worries me a little bit. But
me too. Let's hope they just scratch that all together because we have great Lord of the Ring movies.
Oh yeah.
But I still watch. I still watch them.
Me too.
Oh, yeah, I watch them.
The graphics that they did back then, man. They still hold up.
They
today,
do. Yeah. And special editions. All I watch at least once a year, maybe twice a year.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
See, that's where they intermingled like the sets and designs and art with the special effects, and it works flawlessly.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Exactly. The special effects are not the top tier. They're second. It's the story and the characters first.
Yeah.
That's always the best way.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Timon agrees with you about the whole binge old stuff and the new stuff is the weekly.
That's what it should be.
Right. And that's really not an old model. That's kind of, not a new model. That's kind of an old model. Just when you watch TV series, back when
you gotta wait.
TV. Yeah.
For our next episode.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was like real big cliffhangers, and you're like, "Oh crap! I got to wait a year now for the next season to come out." Yeah,
for the next season.
Yeah.
So that they had that right for TV.
Yeah, they did. It just seems like people are impatient nowadays, and they can't wait.
Yeah.
Netflix is the reason we have the binge model anyway. They're the ones who started it. So
that's true.
Right.
That was good for a little bit, but then it gets old, So, well. Cool. Well, we went over an hour. If you still got more to talk about, we can. But I think that's it.
Yeah, I can. I can always come back on anytime you guys want me to come back on.
That'd be
fun.
Yeah, that'd be
great.
Awesome.
It was a fun conversation. I like talking to people that I've never talked to about this kind of stuff before. It's always fun because there's so much more we could talk about. It can go for a long time.
It could definitely, especially Star Wars and the geeky stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely. Before we head out, I guess let me tell everybody about our website. Go to insidetheboothreviews.com. Check out our website. We got mugs.
Oh, nice.
We have a Teespring store, but you can go to our website to get there. So we also have neck gaiters for those who still.
Oh, nice.
Still think face masks work.
I love that.
If not, you can always wear it as a beanie and like a head bandana. What else do we have? We got t-shirts, hoodies, and that's about it. If you want to support us, also obviously support Geeky Blend, go subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our channel, leave comments, likes, and share. That is what helps us to get out more. And then more people watch us. The more people watch us, the more they'll buy our stuff. The more they buy our stuff, we can stop working dead-end jobs and use this as our, income and career. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's right.
You said insidetheboothreviews.tv, correct?
Insidetheboothreviews.com. Yeah.
Okay. Insidetheboothreviews.com. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I need to bookmark that then.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go ahead and plug in some of your stuff.
Yeah, I am the Geek Blend. We do a show every Saturday night called The High Ground. Me and Tim from Open Airlock Policy, we basically talk about the pop culture stuff of the week, and we play trivia as well. This week we're playing trivia for Chasing Amy. We're doing the View Askew stuff right now. And then Monday nights we have trivia. Sunday night we watch Star Trek, and then during the week I have, Cantina videos. Let's see, I do reviews, and upcoming, since The Conjuring 3 is coming out and streaming in June, I'm going to be reviewing all those movies in the Conjuring universe leading up to it. And, of course, I'm going to do something special for May 25th, Star Wars Day, so keep an eye on that. So, But just come check out the channel in general, and hope you guys enjoy it. So,
cool. Well,
thanks for having me on. This has been it's been really fun, guys. It really has.
Great.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it was definitely fun to have you on. That's for sure. All right. Well, we'll stay in touch, and
yes, definitely.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see y'all later. Have a good and wonderful night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.